Hello, this is Mrs. Norman. I had a couple questions about one of our activities, so I'm going to show you one that is very similar. So let me pull up the sheet and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. This is new for me, so bear with me. I want to show this. So this is the sheet that some people are having questions with about how to do the sheet. And this sheet really is more about listening and saying the sounds than actually writing the letters. In kindergarten, when we learn phonics, we start by writing the sounds that we hear. At the very beginning, that's just one sound. It's just the very first sound. By this point in the year, we've gotten to stretching out those words and hearing a beginning, an ending, and sometimes a middle sound. And that's what we're going to focus on here. When you write these words as a grown-up, some of them have 4 letters. But when we write them in kindergarten, we hear 3 sounds. So what we want to focus on is one circle for each sound. Let's do sun first. So you'll take your finger and you'll go s, n, sun. And you can do that with your own finger on your own sheet. Then you're going to go back and you're going to say one sound for each circle one more time. S. What letter says S? S does. So you'll write S in that circle. S. That's the letter U. We're going to move that U over there. You'll write it. S. N. S. N. 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 And we'll move that over. So the word sun has 3 letters and 3 sounds. That makes it a lot easier. Let's take a look at cake. Cake. Now, as adults or grown-ups, we know that there's a silent E. But in kindergarten, we haven't learned that rule yet. So we're not going to write that. We don't hear cake, That's not how you say the word. You don't hear the E, so we don't put it on this activity. So it goes k, a, k, k, a, k, cake. So we're going to start here. K, 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 k. Now in kindergarten, we know that both C and K say k. So either one that your child says is perfectly fine. We know that it's a C, so we're going to make it a C. And you can correct them as you want, but this is just how we do this activity. K, A. We know that A says a and that A says a. We hear A, we put a. K, a, k, k, a, k, k, k. We hear that k, k, k sound again. So we're going to put that K in. Remember, we know that both C and K can make that sound. So if they flipped it, if your child flipped it and went like this, that would be totally okay too. Now, if you want to help teach your child a little bit more, you can tell them that some words, have a silent E at the end like cake. We don't have to add another circle. You can just put it in this same box as the K, or the same circle as the K. And you can talk about how they go in the same circle because they go together. E doesn't get its own circle because it doesn't make its own sound. Let's do the same thing with seal. Seal. E, O. S, s, s. We know that S says s, s, s. So we're going to put that in that circle. S, E, E, E. Now, as adults, we know that seal has an E and an A stuck together, and that the A makes the E say E instead of E. In kindergarten, we haven't learned this yet. We know that E says E and E says E. So we're going to put that E there. And then we go back and we start sounding it out again. S, E, ool, ool. L says ool, ool, ool. Good. And then we can stretch out the whole word. S, E, ool. Seal. Good. Again, if you want to teach your child that rule and practice it with them, you can do that too. And you can put that A in the same circle as the E and tell them that sometimes you don't hear both letters. A great YouTube video to look up to explain this is when two vowels go walking. I will link it to the Abraham Lincoln Read Aloud page as well in one of the, on the main page or in one of the playlists. So you can teach them that sometimes vowels get stuck together and that the first one says its name and the second one doesn't say anything at all. So you would do the same thing for rain, dad, and aunt. This picture could also be man. It could be big because he's bigger. What the picture actually is doesn't matter. What matters is getting that practice of saying and hearing the sounds. Writing it is an extra step. As long as your child is saying one sound for each circle as they go across, they're doing exactly what they need to do. So I hope that helped clear it up a little bit. And I hope that you have a good time staying safe, working on your work. If you have any questions, you know that you can send me a message on Remind. I look forward to seeing your work. Goodbye.